Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm out here in the garage, actually at a decent hour. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon, and wanted to give you guys an update on some guns that I was able to shoot and review today. Talk about a local fan and subscriber who I had lunch with, and he gave me something, and then I think I want to talk about my need for a new range bag. So let's start with the news about the guns I reviewed first, because I think that might interest the most people. The first gun that I took to the range today is the Sig Spear, and this is of course, the MCX, and this is the 5.56 version, and it's the pistol. I think this is a 10.5-inch barrel is what this one is. It has that tail hook brace on it, and it shoots good. It's like the Sig Spears that I've reviewed in the past. It's not as heavy as the Virtus. I can tell you, in the pistol configuration, this tail hook is not very comfortable. I kind of find that these kind of dig into my shoulder. Of course, I always recommend, if you own one of these, and you can, SB Art. Those stocks are way better. You don't really get a lot of comfort here at all. And for me, though, the recoil on these is really light. Something I do notice when I'm shooting it and I'm behind the gun versus when I'm filming my wife shooting this is that behind the gun, it doesn't have a lot of concussion or report. Like, it feels and sounds like it's a very soft shooting firearm for such a short barrel in 5.56. But when you're standing off to the side, you really hear it and you feel it. See, what else? Gun was pretty accurate, didn't have any reliability issues. I would say if I take my time with the gun, it's very accurate. If I shoot it fast, I have a little bit more difficulty keeping it right where I want it on target. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this gun that I wanted to talk about. I think it just ran good, so no other problems. But I guess I should actually talk about the range bag next, because this is the gun that is probably going to be the reason for me needing a new range bag. Because you guys probably notice in some of my videos when I do the bench rest test, if it's at the 25-yard range, I just rest these on my range bag. And I kind of thought this barrel was long enough to clear that range bag. It actually is, but because we have a flash hider on this, and you can see the bottom of the flash hider, we have gases that deflect downward. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this. So let me show you my range bag. And I noticed this when I was packing up. Here we go. There we go. So it's not like a bullet went through it. It's because the barrel was over the bag like this. And I guess it was kind of like that, right there. And so we had the gases coming down, and it kind of wore a hole in my bag. And yeah, that's not good. So I'll probably keep this bag maybe as a rest or something. Just take it to the range. I do have some sandbags that I have. They're a little bit on the heavy side, but they're not this tall. So yeah, I'm going to need another range bag, which I'm going to say, I've had this range bag for a long time, and way back when I was the Fort Worth Colt guy, I actually made a video about this bag because a friend of mine had bought this bag, I'm not joking, for $4.95 from Academy Sports. This is years and years and years ago. And I can't remember, it was like clearance item discontinued with a coupon, and it like worked out to like $4.95. So they bought 2 of them. So yeah, and they gave me 1. So this bag has seen a lot of action, been on a lot of range trips, and yeah, I did not intend for this to happen, but I'm definitely going to keep it around. I can still use it, but maybe it's time I move on to the next range bag. So this thing has probably served me well for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years, I think. So pretty good. So I'll be looking for another range bag. So if there's any recommendations that you guys have that you think I should look into, let me know. But yeah, that's because of the old Sig Spear here and that flash hider. But overall, pretty good. I mean, I can't say that this gun wowed me, but it functioned great. and no problem. So it's going to get high marks for me. I just would rather it be an SBR. I wish we had an adjustable length of pull. That's the downside to many of the folding stocks. If it doesn't fit you well and the length of pull isn't good, you don't have many options. But yeah, it's just not as comfortable with this kind of metal back on the brace. But overall, pretty good. So that is the Sig Spear. So let me get the other gun. And where are we? All right, here we go. And finally, I got to review the Colt M5 carbine. And it pretty much, actually, to my surprise, had the same issues as before. You guys know I shot this at the range a few days ago, and I discovered, or we discovered together, that it had the wrong front sight, in that at the factory, they put 2 rear sights on it. So I thought it was supposed to be like an aperture in the front, like, oh, I guess this is Troy Industries' new design or something. Nope, it was 2 rear sights. Accuracy was, but with the proper post front sight, we have the same issues. Like, it's not that accurate. It's not that accurate of a gun for me. I mean, I'm sure the gun is way more accurate than I am as a shooter, but when it comes to many of these rifles, I can get way better groups. And one of the things I'm going to talk about when it comes to this, and it's not necessarily Colt's fault or the gun's fault, but these Troy Industry sights, in my opinion, are not that good. I find them to be way off. I did adjust them, and I could not, because I can't spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds trying to zero these rifles. This gun, and the way the sights are, it shoots low and to the right. And I did all the adjustments I could, but I can't sit there and spend hours and tons of ammo just getting it right. So I get some decent groups with it. It's just not on the center of the target. And even with all the adjustments, I just couldn't find it in quick enough amount of time. So I'm a little bit disappointed with these. And also, I keep having to screw these down to tighten them. So especially the rear sight, right now it's tight because I screwed it down and tightened it. But after about 30 rounds, this thing is loosey-goosey again. So I'm going to recommend to Raul that if he wants to use these sights, he's going to need to put on some like blue Loctite on those to keep them tight. Because both the front and the rear come loose, and you can tighten them down and they just come loose again. But my gut tells me, and if this was my rifle, this gun needs different sights. I would go with like the Magpul Pros, or even just the Magpul M-Buses, just to have something better than these. These Troy Industry sights, in my opinion, while they look nice, they're made of aluminum, made of steel, they look the part, they're folding, they're just not that good. I have a lot of problems with these, and the sights on this gun have been the major issue. From a shootability standpoint, the gun is really nice. I think it definitely shoots a little bit better than an M4 and the standard 6920. I like the lower receiver. I feel like the gun is well gassed. However, I still don't think this gun is worth the price tag. You can get a 6920 at, I'm just going to throw out a number here. I try not to do that because it dates the video, because eventually someone might see this a few years in the future, and as I've said in the past, they'll go, "You're so stupid, those don't cost that much." I'm like, look when the video came out. But you can, on sale, you can pick up a 6920 for around $1,000, give or take a little bit on one side. This thing is like $1,800 to $2,000 right now as I'm filming this, and I don't think you get double the gun for that price. I mean, it's nice, and I especially like the lower receiver. That's the best part of this, but it's not a piston gun, it's a gas gun. For me, the gun is not as accurate, but it could be just this example with these sights. And my wife does not like this trigger. I got to look into what trigger is in this, and I understand what she's saying. The reset on this trigger, and I like loud and tactile trigger resets. This one almost feels like it tries to reset for you. I don't know, it's like, it's really, what was the word she used? She says it's really clunky. that was a clunky. It was something else she said. I made sure to film her saying it. But yeah, like you shoot it and you're like, okay, I'm going to just slowly release to the reset. And it feels like you get to a point and it just forces the reset. But it's not a forced reset. It's just, it feels like the trigger return spring might be a little bit heavier and stronger than many other triggers. It doesn't help you shoot it faster or anything, because I did not shoot this gun as fast as other guns. Its reset is kind of weird, but I have to look into exactly what they put into this and see if it's any different. But this gun is okay. And I think the biggest disappointment with this is that although it is a good rifle, to me there's no doubt this is a good rifle, I don't think it's worth the money that Colt asks for it. I am going to stand by my initial assessment when I kind of look at this, look at the options. Like, this is a good rifle in the $1,400 range because you get the upgrades of the lower receiver, the ambi controls. I really like the handguard, how it blends with the upper. But of course, because of this, you really can't ever change handguards. You're kind of stuck with this handguard forever, where on the 6920, you can change handguards and go in different directions. But yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not like, wow, I absolutely have to go and get one myself. But it is good. It's reliable, but the sights need to be changed. And I also think just the way it is, having like a low-powered variable optic would be the way to go on this too. But good, solid rifle, and it's up to you if you think it's worth the price. So those were the guns that I shot and reviewed today. I'll get around to doing the range reports on those, but the hardest thing to do is to get the footage for the range reports. So once that's in the can, just doing the stuff around here on the workbench and editing the footage is easy. So I talked about the guns, and I talked about needing a new range bag. So now let's talk about seeing a local fan and subscriber. His name is Craig. He has lent guns to the channel before. He wanted to have lunch, so we went over to a place in Plano called Tzatziki's, and it's like a Mediterranean Greek place. Kind of, you know, it's not like a sit-down, like super nice restaurant, and I love Mediterranean food. But I gave him a few things that I've reviewed. I kind of have like a stack of stuff, like everything from flashlights to weapons-mounted lights to red dots that I review that when I get done with them, I just put them back in the boxes. And so I was like, hey, do you want a couple of these? So I gave him some of that, and he had something for me that I wasn't even expecting. So I wanted to show what he got me. He got me some ammo, which is always nice. Check this out. We got some CCI mini mags. The best 22 ammo out there. I definitely need some of this because most of my 22 long rifle is like the bulk stuff that's kind of hit or miss. And the CCI mini mag stuff is just the absolute best. So I will always save this for, you know, the nicer guns and the 22 reviews that I do. So thank you so much, Craig, for this. And then he got me something I really appreciate. And when he gave it to me, I kind of looked at it and go, oh yeah, there's some magazines in here, but I didn't look at which ones they were. We have 3. First off, flat dark earth mags, and they're the Surefeed magazines made by OK Industries. So Surefeed by OK Industries. And the reason that this is so cool is that OK Industries doesn't seem to make magazines anymore. As far as I know, they're no longer made. These have the markings for the, see, it has the cage code 33710, but it has the date of manufacturer. These are 920, see if they're all the same. Yeah, so they were all made in September of 2020, but as far as I know, they don't make magazines anymore. And these were like the industry standards for a while. And so it's awesome to have these flat dark earth magazines. So thank you so much, Craig. These are hard to come by. And you guys know I love flat dark earth, so these are going to match many of the guns that I review. So thank you so much. So what a awesome gift. And I bought Craig lunch and everything, and he's awesome. And I know he always likes to watch these videos. He even told me, he's like, I don't always watch every video on the main channel, but I like the videos on the Texas Gun Vault too. Some people like this format. So I guess that's it. So anyway, what do you guys think about the guns that I reviewed? Tell me about what range bag I need to look at. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and thank you, Craig. So what an awesome day of Texas gun vaulting. Had a lot of fun. And that's it. So the word of the day. The word of the day is going to be Craig. Craig is the word of the day because Craig had lunch with me and my wife and gave me some awesome gifts of CCI mini mags and some Sure Feed magazines for ARs in Flat Dark Earth. That is awesome because these are my favorite types of mags. So thank you, Craig. Craig is the word of the day. So I guess that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining me here in the garage. I love making these videos. I know they're not the most exciting videos in the world, but I just love the interaction and be able to make content on the main channel and then to come over here and we talk about just my reactions to various guns or what I'm reviewing and kind of get that behind the scenes feel. I like that a lot. So anyway, let me know what you guys all think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.